Welcome everyone. My name is Nina Josefina Bong and I'm a Senior Policy Officer at Microfinance Center, and I'm really happy to open this webinar. On this webinar, we have invited guests from EVPA. That will be, this is Bianca and Carolina working in policy and EU partnership for years. They are very experienced in that area, and they are EVPA is one of the partner, European Commission partner in exploring Pact for skills, and this is they will be sharing today the knowledge of this program, of this framework, and I'm super happy to have you here. We have among participants, we have mostly microfinance institutions, and this is and for MFIs as well as for me and everyone here, it will be it is very important to really understand the logic behind Pact for Skills, what it means, how this can be practically used by our organizations, and what is already known, what will come. So, so I'm really happy to have you here. And before we start, just small announcement regarding our event. In 2 weeks, we have an online social finance vibe conference for social finance providers, MFIs, social economy actors. So please check the agenda, register. This will be very interesting today's event organized during your working hours. So please join and explore and exchange with us. And I think it's worth to mention that if you have any question at any point, please write in the chat. Write in the chat, and I will try to and I will bring it to our speakers. Okay, I think we can start. Carolina, do you wanna share your screen?
Sure, I'll go ahead. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nina, for having us, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. I will just very briefly introduce myself. So my name is Carolina Kolarova. I'm working as a Policy and EU Partnership Analyst, and together with me today is here also Bianca Polidoro. She's the Senior Policy and EU Partnership Manager. Just to give you a brief overview how I'm going through this presentation. So I'll start with a bit more general information about what Pact for Skills is and what does it aim for. And then I will narrow it down to a specific partnership that EVPA together with Social Economy Europe is leading. So to start with, a very general introduction, what Pact for Skills is. So Pact for Skills is an initiative under the European Commission framed in the European Skills Agenda and the European Pillar of Social Rights Action Plan. It also is it has a very strong base in the Social Economy Action Plan that was officially published last year in December. And also together with the Social Economy Action Plan, we have the staff working document called Transition Pathways for Proximity in Social Economy, which gives a name to the partnership that we as EVPA lead, so the Proximity in Social Economy Partnership. And this partnership has been launched this year in May in Strasbourg, so still a very recent partnership. The general objectives of Pact for Skills, I just summarized some of them. So the first one is to increase financial and non-financial support, building strong skills partnership, and especially a big emphasis is on bringing the public and the private sector together to monitor the skills supply and demand and anticipating skills needs. That's very much connected to the data collection, and then working against discrimination and for gender equality and equal opportunities. I know that Pact for Skills might still be very confusing for many, so I have this very easy structure to maybe help you imagine how Pact for Skills work. So the Pact for Skills is an initiative coordinated by European Commission, supported by Eucharis. And under this Pact for Skills, you have 14 ecosystems, so-called partnerships. So it is not in my power to describe each of them, but I think the most valuable one and the one we can really provide info for is the one that we are leading together with Social Economy Europe, which is the Proximity and Social Economy Partnership. Now, these ecosystems, they of course have their own structures, their own pace of working, but we also create this larger scale partnership, meaning that the coordinators from each ecosystem, from time to time, we come together, we share our knowledge, we update each other on the partnership, but we also share the struggles we're facing within the partnerships. Some things that are provided if you are a member of the Pact. So there are 3 pillars. The first one is the networking hub that is supporting you to finding partners, guiding you through the meetings, also linking you with existing tools, so such as the Europass, and it also helps you to promote the activities you have. The second one is the Knowledge Hub, which provides you with webinars, seminars, peer learning activities. Some of them are more general, some of them are specifically tailored to specific partnerships. They also update you on the EU policy and instruments and give you information on tools and projects currently happening, supporting the reskilling and upskilling. And then the last part is the Guidance and Resource Hub, which is a lot about access to finance. So how you can access relevant EU funding, the guidance to identify financial possibilities, but also it helps you to facilitate exchange with regional or local partners. So now that I hope you got a little bit of a general overview of Pact for Skills is, I will talk more about the partnership that EVPA is leading. So that's the Partnership for Proximity and Social Economy. And I would like to highlight mainly the role of EVPA we have in this partnership. So I wrote down some of the key areas we are focusing on. So the first one is, of course, access to finance. I don't know how much you're aware of EVPA, but this is one of our core activities. So increasing the number of financial tools, instruments, supporting upskilling and reskilling, but also increasing the amount invested by Investors for Impact in this sector. The other one is impact measurement and management. So promoting and developing IMM. We still feel like it's a thing that can be discovered by more players and incorporated by more social economy actors. And then we have the regional cooperation. As a network organization, we are trying to support the regional cooperation, linking public, private, and really guide our members in access to finance, but also giving them a general guidance in, for example, EU policies. And the last one is disseminating best practices. So whether it comes to disseminating case studies we are working on, or sharing stories of Investors for Impact, how they're dealing with upskilling and reskilling.
Can I maybe ask a question?
Now, more general about the proximity and social economy partnership. I linked here the declaration. I'm sure Nina will then share with you all the presentation so you can access it. I will not go into very detailed because the declaration on its own has like 12 pages. So I just highlighted the 4 pillars we have. So the first pillar, of course, is enlarge the project, so bringing more members to our partnership. This is especially important when you want to really have a good data collection. The second pillar is connected to developing reskilling and upskilling activities, fostering talent attraction, and strengthening social inclusion in coordination with the ESG framework. The third pillar is improving skills intelligence for the ecosystem. So whether it comes to IMM or how we collect data, how do we measure impact? And the fourth pillar is providing financial, non-financial contribution to skills development activities. So of course there are more KPIs to you can discover it in the declaration, but this is just a quick overview to so you know what we are aiming for and what are the key areas we are focusing.
Carolina, can I ask a question, maybe?
Yes.
So I was wondering first, who can, because you said about signatories people signing the pact, yeah. So and there is a declaration, and I wonder how does it work? Who can sign it, and what happens then? Because in the previous slides, or the one when there was this, even the previous one, yeah, there are some opportunities stated, and I wonder, like, to what extent this is already happening, or it's what's the state of the affair, or it's just being in a development process, or it's already happening, and how MFIs would sign up the pact, how they could contribute or also benefit.
Yeah, sure. So you can join the Pact by, there's a Pact for Skill website that is at the end of this presentation. So when you go to the website, there is a charter you can sign. It gives you a clear overview of Pact for Skills, what Pact for Skills is, but then you can also choose if you have any specific partnership you would like to join. For example, if you, I think as a microfinance institution, it's probably social economy and proximity. But of course, if you have a specific area, you can have a look. There's everything from tourism to creative industries and so on. So you go to the website, you sign the charter, and if you have a specific partnership you want to join, you then be asked to either check their website. Most of the partnerships have their declaration. So for example, we have our declaration that is on the Social Economy Europe website, and then you'll be basically just linked to the whole database of the members, and somebody will definitely contact you with all the services provided. Now, when it comes to the services provided, it is pretty much in work, but of course that I cannot say there's been a huge update regarding, for example, data collection or something like that. But all these networking hub, knowledge hub, guidance, resources hub are running. There already been few webinars, and I think, of course, every partnership also have their own activities then. So if you decide to join a certain partnership, then you also have activities that are only specifically tailored for you, and this really depends where the partnership is.
Okay,
so
great.
I hope I answered.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, but I wonder also, is there is like a geographic scope of or limitation of who is eligible to join?
Of course. So it's covering the whole Europe. So you have not only EU member states, but you also have, for example, states like Albania joining. But so far, the Pact for Skills is really a European initiative. So it does not go broader, but it does not mean that there are not things that you can maybe, if you're outside of EU, that you cannot find beneficial. Maybe only just keeping yourself updated on what's happening in the EU can help you maybe partner up later on, or just keeping yourself on top of what is happening.
Thank you.
All right. So I've run very quickly through the KPIs and aims. As I said, the declaration is linked here, so you're free to explore it. And then just to give you a broad overview of the members that we have in our partnership. So you can also see the countries. So we currently have around 100 members, starting from social economy organizations, local institutions, institutional members, and networks of members that commit to the declaration. When it comes to the countries, you can see it's everything around covering most of the Europe. We are aiming to really cover as much as possible, because especially for social economy, it's really important to have this dialogue all across Europe. So here are just some logos. Microfinance Center is also one of the members, so just so you know. And then we have also educational providers, research centers, national and regional organizations. So to talk a bit about funding, I think before I start, it's important to clarify that Pact for Skills is an initiative, and it does not have any funding program allocated to Pact for Skills only. What it does is really, it gives you, once you join Pact for Skills, you probably will get a better overview of what European funds are there and which one of them is focusing on reskilling and upskilling. I pinpoint few that might be relevant. They also have more of a broader geographical scope, especially Erasmus Plus. So we have the Partnership for Innovation, but also the Blueprint projects that are very much focused on the twin transition, but also reskilling and upskilling. Then European Social Fund Plus, that has a big window for social innovation, green and digital transition, very much linked to reskilling and upskilling. And last but not least, you have the Digital Europe program that also have a little bit more extended geographical scope. And I also linked some of the previous calls, so you can maybe go through it and see what has been available in the past. Now, these calls are usually published throughout the year, so it's good to keep your eyes open on them. And of course, there is more than that. We have currently rolling the Invest EU that has a window for skills. And also the Horizon is very popular, but yeah, I just pinpoint the one that will be maybe the most interested to today's audience. So where we currently are and what our next step, what we are doing. Now, also speaking from the point of view of the partnership, because of course the Pact for Skills have all these hubs running, but then every partnership has different activities rolling on. So one of the things we're currently working on as an EVPA together with Social Economy Europe is to develop a sustainable coordination governance plan so that the members can know who is in charge of what and how we're going to govern. And this is something that is in progress and that we want to share later on with the members. Currently, what is in progress is also mapping of the partners and the commitments. So what type of partners we have? Are there any regions we need to target a little bit more? What are the various commitments they have? Also, I think from the beginning of November, so from 2 weeks time from now, we will have a first workshop where we want to share the results of the mapping of the partners and the commitments, to give a little bit more overview of where we are in terms of this governance plan, but also to agree with the members on what are the next steps, what kind of activities they would like to have, and really more of an organizational informative session. We'll also launch a survey that will be mapping the skills, which is very important. And I think this is one of the core of Pact for Skills, really to map where we are in terms of skills across Europe, but what is the need of every partnership when it comes to reskilling and upskilling. And just to wrap up, so we have some follow-up events. As I said, the Pact for Skills have its own website. I linked it here, and there are various webinars organized by European Commission, whether it is access to finance or regional cooperation, or also there are webinars that are more of an onboarding for new members. So if you are still not clear, or if you just recently joined Pact for Skills, I would definitely advise you to join one of the webinars, the more general ones. And then, of course, as the EVPA, we have our Impact Week this year happening in Brussels, where we have a session dedicated to reskilling and upskilling. And the aim of this session is to really have a genuine conversation with the European Commission and with our practitioners on what are the synergies for cooperation, but also identifying some good practices that our practitioners used. Then we have the EU funding bootcamp, which I think is really a highlight of the EVPA Impact Week. So anything from what kind of a funding is currently available, but also how to access the funding. We will dive in more into the 3 case studies that we as EVPA published this year. So you can really see how practitioners access the funding and how can you access the new InvestEU that is running out. And then we also have the social innovation session that is more work with the national competence centers, and we have many more. Of course, reskilling and upskilling session is the probably one of the most accurate for now for this session, but I would really advise you to look at our agenda. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm sure me or Bianca or even anyone there's an email address, so you can definitely ask for more questions. So that's being it when it comes to Pact for Skills, where we are and where we head in. As I said, the thing with Pact for Skills is it's still an ongoing initiative. So the pace is probably what you were hoping for. There are no tangible results yet, but every partnership is really doing their best to roll out their activities and have this data collection. And I'm sure there will be soon an updates because, yeah, I think also please follow the Pact for Skills on their website, but they also have a LinkedIn profile as I think I'm a member also. So they post all the information there. So that would be it from me. I'm sure if there are certain questions, me or Bianca will try our best to answer them.
Thank you very much. I'm going to look at the. Okay, there is a question, yeah, about the eligibility from Georgia. Does it have the right to access the Pact?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Does the Georgia have the right to participate in the program and benefit from it? Georgia country.
I think it really depends what you are looking for. So let me just stop sharing so I can see you, because so far I could only see the. Yes, yep. Now I can see you all, because before I could only see the presentation, which wasn't very, very comfortable. So as you can see that, for example, we have in our own partnership members from Turkey. I think it really depends on what you're searching for. Of course, that when it comes to EU funding, there are calls and EU funding programs that are extended beyond the European border. There's a lot of emphasis also on the partnership with the Eastern Partnership countries. So of course, now, but when it comes to really Pact for Skills, the European initiative, so most of the data collection and networking is happening within Europe. So it really, I would say, depends on what you're searching for. Probably it's not the right one to join, but it doesn't mean that, for example, reskilling and upskilling is cannot be like Europe cannot support you in reskilling and upskilling in Georgia.
Thank you for this. I invite you all to write questions in chat or speak up if you wish. I also have a question because I wonder to what extent or maybe everyone, you mentioned the commitment that the organizations that are signing the pact are are making commitment. Can you maybe clarify what does it mean? Is it like funding commitment? And then second, to what extent this huge group of participants that you presented are they're at this state they're more like contributors or they are receivers of the knowledge and exchange? And since this is still in a shaping process, it's in a shaping and it's still ongoing and developing. And I also wonder that next year it's the EU skills years of skills, and I wonder what it means in the light of the Pact for Skills. So the skills are getting more important. I guess.
Okay, so if it's okay, we will split this question. I will share it with Bianca. Bianca can maybe give you more overview on the
Sure.
2030 year of skills. And when it comes to the commitment, I think it's very flexible. It's I think when you fill in the charter, there's things, is there, for example, a project you're running and you really want to find a partner, because we have members that are already running some Erasmus Plus Blueprints projects. So this is a commitment they can bring. They want to bring their knowledge and look for new partners. Now, of course, when it comes to there's not a hierarchy. Just because EVPA and Social Economy Europe is running this partnership doesn't mean that we are higher above each other. I think it's really about getting everyone together and share their struggle, their knowledge, and search for the synergies to cooperate. And I think it's a very nice thing that you have the European Commission listening, and we are really more of coordinators when it comes to, navigating the activities. So that's it. And then I'm sure Bianca can tell you more about what's coming next year, maybe.
Yes, first of all,
you.
thank you very much. I would like to say that I'm Bianca Polidoro. I'm a Senior Policy and New Partnerships Manager at the EVPA. I would like also to thank my colleague Carolina for this great presentation, and say a few words also on our involvement. We are coordinators of this partnership, and we are working to really making this happening. As Carolina was saying, we launched this just in May, and we are working with Equaris so to really make sure that the partnership has a format. But of course, there are a lot of members that are, as Carolina was mentioning, contributors, but also depending from the angle that the members want to operate. So what is your hook? Are you, for example, looking for funding? Then it's funding on upskilling and reskilling. And you should also understand if you are looking for grant and going to more towards, for example, Erasmus, or for InvestEU, that it's more for boosting pan-European investment. So with the new products, we have the equity products, we have the guarantee products, capacity building products. So this, I think, I would like just to clarify that really depends from your perspective, your angle, what would be your achievement. Okay, so this to clarify where we are today. To reply to the question, yes, the 2023 will be the year of skills and education. We heard that, of course, from the State of the Union from Ursula von der Leyen, the 14th of September. Now we also need to see what will be the agenda of 2023, and we are eager to share with the commissions what the EVPA members can provide, of course, best practice as example. And that's why we plan this event, our annual conference, where we will showcase best practices of upskilling and reskilling investment in Europe, as with the European member states, as with within the member states of Europe, but also beyond, for showcasing also cases that are outside Europe but could be replicable in Europe and scalable possibly in Europe. So why, that's my perspective, is the year of skills and education is because we know that there is a lot of unemployment, we have a lot of data on that, and there is a need of skilling and reskilling young people, but also the old generation, let's say, to find a job that is useful for our society. We live in a world where we have a lot of social challenges. One of that is really the unemployment. That's why there is a huge need of making upskilling, reskilling investment as one of the goals of the European Union. So I think I clarified that, but I also like to say that we partner up with the Commission, especially in a program called EASY on access to finance, and we focus a lot on access to finance. We are a network organization of investors, social investors. And for what concerns this webinar in particular, and this topic, the Commission is our stakeholder, but I think in the future would be good also for you to enter in contact directly with the Commission and asking questions, because this is also possible. So as Carolina said, suggested, if you would like to know more and are interested to join the Pact, you can also directly contact the policy officer, for example, DG Grow, or other people at the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For a moment, I was freezed, but and I'm not sure if you managed to answer the question regarding. There's a question on the chat. Do you focus on utilization of skills received, and what are the mechanisms for this? You can look at the chat.
Yes, I see it. Maybe a little bit of a clarification.
Yeah.
So, I think there's only as much as Pact for Skills can go. And of course, one of the things is data collection and analyzing what is needed in the market. Now, when it comes to the utilization, so how we use the skills, I think this is something that is really not in the capacity of the Pact for Skills as such. Of course, it's something we can address, but I think, don't know if this question has like a more descriptive, if I understood it well, but I think there are agencies and other organizations that are more focused on what type of skills we use and how we use it. So, and these, of course, these organizations can be part of the Pact for Skills, but considering also that Pact for Skills is an initiative that we don't know how long it's going to run. I think there's really important to stick to certain, framework. So I would say, do we focus on utilization of skills received? No, but do we touch upon it to a certain extent? Yes.
Thank you very much. It just shows that it's still very difficult for to grasp for people the idea. It's not so tangible. But you mentioned that. Yeah, that's obvious. I was also wondering about the. I'm sorry if you may, Bianca, if you mentioned it, but I want to clarify it. So there is a lot of. I wonder about the process of actually sharing the outcomes of the research survey with European Commission, like the process itself. Is it the part of the Pact of Skills, or is it outside? So it's like Pact for Skills is where you share, exchange, make surveys, mappings, and then how this information are delivered to European Commission, and what happens with this?
But we are co-creating this with the European Commission, so it's not about sharing information, and we create a governance with them, and this is and it's not tangible because it needs to really have a bit of time to then for some deliverables. We can't right now already seeing things that are not happening yet, so that's the reason. And we co-create it with the Commission. That's why I think it would be good to reach out to directly people from the Commission. And maybe one thing I want to say, because I see also a good question about food funding and guarantee programs be available for companies in Jordan. So I think that's a very good question. And actually, the answer is yes, but with other DGs of the European Commission, and other programs that are more for outside Europe. So we focus a lot, as Carolina said, we have this EU funding bootcamp, but this is mainly for EU member states. I don't know how much you are familiar with the InvestEU program. This is really for the European market, especially in our case. We focus a lot on the social investment skills window that is for boosting the social enterprises market in Europe. So for what concerns outside of Europe, I would say that there are other programs, and that it's important to know that it would be good to reach out the Directorate Generals that are focusing on that are mainly DG NEAR or DG Impact.
Yes, thank you very much. And also, Rana, you can reach out for and explore the Erasmus Plus program. We also have a webinar and recording on this, and this will be. I'm pretty sure that the SMEs from Jordan can also benefit to some extent, but when it comes to upskilling, reskilling the staff, the community, so it's also an option to explore. Are there any more questions? Is there any contact that we can discuss further? Yeah, I mean, regarding the funding opportunities, you can email me. There will be email after this webinar, so you can answer this. I think just to make a summary, I think I would advise you at that point to really follow the website for Pact for Skills and go through the declaration and choose the partnership that suits you, and then explore what are the options. This will definitely make the whole process more tangible, although it's the beginning, and it seems like the skills are on EU agenda, and there should be more happening around this. And yeah, but in a way, I think it's as you mentioned, it's not the place when you can get funding. You can find out about it. You can learn how to navigate around different EU programs that have skilling, reskilling, upskilling in the focus. So I wonder if there are any more questions that you wish to ask. So that now it's the moment, and maybe Carolina or Bianca, maybe you wanna comment before we conclude.
No, maybe I just would like to say thank you very much, and that if you want to join the EVP annual conference, you have all the contacts, and there, as Carolina mentioned, we have a session on Pact for Skills. There will be people of the European Commission that for sure can give you more information than us today. And also on EU funding, there will be a session dedicated to that, not only for upskilling and reskilling. And then we actually, I don't know how much of you are aware that we have a Collaborating for Impact project in Eastern Partnership countries. And I see that you are also coming from this geography, so maybe would be good to go in the website of EVPA and look for Collaborating for Impact and understanding what we are doing there, because we are working a lot also on building the social investment market there. So I think it would be good to have a look at that if you're interested in those countries. That's just my comment. And again, thank you to everyone.
And thank you very much. I just wanna. I'm really glad for shedding light on this, helping to decoding this mysterious Pact for Skills that I myself I understand much more at the moment. Although there is still more to explore, and I think that by participating in one of the partnership is the best way to really explore the opportunities. So thank you very much for this. I just before we finish, I just want to start a short survey so we can evaluate the meeting later on and find out how useful it is. So we know in which direction to organize other webinars. And I wanted to thank you again, Carolina and Bianca, for being with us, and just remind also that this webinar was supported by the European Commission. So please stay with us just one more minute, so and fill the poll, and then we'll be finishing the meeting, and the recording will be on the website. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Nina, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.